Today we uncover the shocking truth about UK tinned fish. 57% of UK tinned tuna exceeds safe mercury limits. One British nursery chain banned it entirely after discovering it was too dangerous for children. Yet supermarkets stock it at eye level with healthy protein labels and charge you premium prices for poison. John West promised British consumers 100% sustainable fishing by 2016. They achieved 2%, and Prince's pledged to end destructive fishing by 2014. It's now 2026, and they're still doing it. Both brands now owned by foreign corporations, both caught lying, both linked to slavery, and both sitting on your supermarket shelf right now. But it gets worse. Every single tin of canned fish in Britain contains BPA at 20 to 50 times over safe limits, despite labels claiming they're BPA-free. The chemical has been linked to fertility issues, developmental problems, and hormone disruption. European regulators lowered the safe limit by 20,000 times in 2023. That's how dangerous they consider it. The sunflower oil flooding cheap tins isn't just adding calories, it's leaching the omega-3 fatty acids out of the fish and replacing them with inflammatory omega-6 compounds that actively damage your cardiovascular system. So we've gone through the major brands currently sold in UK supermarkets and we'll expose the 9 tinned fish products you need to avoid immediately. Then I'll tell you the 5 which are actually still worth buying. But before we dive in, I need your help with something. The food industry doesn't want this information reaching millions of people. They profit when you stay confused, when you trust heritage brands that sold out decades ago, when you grab what's familiar without reading labels. Every like on this video pushes it to more people. Every hype button click tells the algorithm this matters. And it does matter because when enough families refuse to pay premium prices for inflammatory oils, these corporations will be forced to change. They only understand one language, and that's money. Your hype button click isn't just engagement, it's pushing back. It's spreading awareness that actually leads to better food standards. So hit that hype button right now. Let's make sure this reaches everyone who's still buying these brands thinking they're making healthy choices. And let's get into it. Number 9. Glenrick Pilchards in tomato sauce. Glenrick markets itself as classic quality pilchards, the kind your grandparents ate. The 400-gram tin sits on supermarket shelves at Tesco with that familiar branding suggesting reliability and tradition. But customers are noticing something's changed. One reviewer put it bluntly, "I believe the pilchards are getting smaller. We now get 5 to the can. Previously we had 3 pilchards with little room for the sauce." This is textbook shrinkflation. You're paying the same price or more, but the actual fish content has been quietly downgraded. Instead of 3 substantial pilchards, you're getting 5 tiny ones swimming in more sauce to make up the weight. The company sources from multiple locations now: South Africa, Namibia, Morocco, and what they vaguely call a Pacific Ocean factory. That lack of transparency matters because pilchards from different waters have different quality levels, different contamination risks, different nutritional profiles. When a brand won't tell you exactly where your fish came from, that's usually because they're blending cheaper sources to cut costs. The budget positioning at around £1.50 per tin might seem reasonable, but when you drain away the tomato sauce and actually weigh what's left, you're getting significantly less fish than the label suggests. This isn't about hating tomato sauce. It's about companies using sauce as filler to mask the fact they've reduced the actual protein content you're paying for. Glenrick proves that classic branding means nothing when the product inside keeps getting worse. Number 8. Tesco Tuna Chunks in Oil. Britain's biggest supermarket, the name families have trusted for generations. That familiar blue tin appears in millions of shopping baskets every week. But here's what that label isn't telling you. The pack says 168 grams total weight. Sounds reasonable, but the drained weight is listed as 3 times 56 grams. Do the maths. That's 168 grams total, but only 168 grams of actual fish after you pour off the oil. Wait, that can't be right, because when customers actually drain these tins and weigh what's left, they're getting far less. One reviewer measured it properly and found these 120-gram tins actually contain around 75 grams of fish when fully drained, not the 100 grams net weight stated on the label. That's a 25% discrepancy. You're paying for oil weight, not fish weight. The marketing says hand-filleted tender tuna, but the reality is fish floating in sunflower oil that you'll pour down the sink. Except you can't pour it all away. That slick coating clings to every chunk. The inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids have been soaking into the fish for months. You think draining solves it? The fish has absorbed those compounds. It's like marinating chicken for 6 months, then trying to rinse off the marinade. It doesn't work that way. Oil-soluble compounds migrate into the tissue during storage. That film you can't wipe off completely, that's in the flesh now. And here's the real cynicism. Tesco sells tuna in spring water on the exact same shelf. They know the better option exists. They stock it. They just make sure the sunflower oil version gets better shelf positioning, larger facings, and more aggressive promotion. Why? Higher profit margins. Oil is cheaper than quality, and they know most shoppers grab what's at eye level without comparing labels. Tesco also sources from Thai Union, the same company that owns John West. Thai Union was exposed in a New York Times investigation for slavery at sea, forced labor on fishing vessels, and human trafficking in their supply chain. When you buy Tesco tuna in oil, you're potentially eating fish caught by people who couldn't leave the boat. Less than 33% of what you're buying is actual fish. The rest is inflammatory oil padding the weight and slavery potentially padding the profit margin. Number 7. John West sardines in tomato sauce. John West has been on British shelves since 1857. That's 170 years of supposed expertise. The blue and red label appears in virtually every corner shop and supermarket across the UK. Heritage, trust, familiarity. But expertise doesn't mean integrity. This tin is where clever marketing starts doing real damage. Tomato sauce. It sounds wholesome, natural, even nutritious. Lycopene, vitamins, vegetables. Your brain fills in the blanks before you've even read the label. But look closer at those ingredients. Sardines make up just 65%. Then water, tomato concentrate, cornstarch, guar gum, and there it is again. Sunflower oil. The tomato sauce isn't replacing the oil. It's sitting on top of it. You're still getting inflammatory fatty acids from seed oil, plus the sugars and carbohydrates that come with processed sauce, plus elevated sodium from the salt added to make it taste like something. This tin is more heavily processed than plain sardines in water, with a longer ingredient list and higher calorie density, all while appearing to be the healthier, more natural choice on the shelf. Pregnant women choosing this for easy protein are getting processed sauce and seed oil alongside it. Parents convinced the tomato base adds nutritional value are feeding their children thickeners and hidden sugars. The label is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Create a health halo that doesn't match reality. The price hits £1.30 at Tesco, which works out to £15.48 per kilogram drained weight. Number 6. Rio Mare MSC tuna in olive oil. This is where the certification lie gets really expensive. Rio Mare positions itself as premium Italian tuna. The packaging suggests Mediterranean quality, sustainable fishing, and olive oil preservation. The tin costs around £4 at Waitrose, working out to £33.65 per kilogram. That's a serious premium. Customers should be getting something exceptional for that price. Instead, they're getting 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not terrible, but hardly justifying the cost, and they're getting an MSC certified label that means far less than they think. The Marine Stewardship Council makes €30 million annually from logo licensing royalties. That represents 88% of their total income. Read that again. 88% of their revenue comes from selling certifications to fisheries. They make money by selling the blue tick. The more fisheries they certify, the more money they make. That creates a massive conflict of interest. The Bloom Association published a report called The Death Label that exposed exactly how corrupted this system has become. 57% of MSC-certified tuna now comes from destructive fish aggregating device fisheries. FADs are the industrial floating objects that attract everything in the ocean, not just tuna. When purse seine nets surround a FAD, they catch sharks, turtles, rays, dolphins, seabirds, juvenile fish. Everything goes into the net. The bycatch levels are catastrophic. MSC initially promised they would never certify FAD caught tuna. Never. But as tuna fisheries lobbied for access to that lucrative blue tick logo, standards quietly weakened. MSC-certified tuna volumes multiplied by 730 times. They went from certifying small pole and line operations to certifying industrial fleets dragging nets behind factory ships. The MSC even certified a Mexican fishery that deliberately targets dolphins to find tuna, resulting in hundreds of dolphin fatalities annually. They suspended that certification after backlash, but the fishery is now back in transition for recertification. Blue Marine Foundation stated it clearly. MSC certification alone does not guarantee sustainability. When you see that blue tick on Rio Mare, you're seeing a logo that was purchased, not earned. You're paying £33.65 per kilogram for greenwash tuna that rates 3.5 stars and comes with a certification that's been systematically corrupted by revenue incentives. There are better options at half the price. Number 5. M&SS sardines in olive oil. Marks & Spencer built its reputation on quality you can trust. The branding suggests premium ingredients, careful sourcing, and family values. When you see that M&S label, you expect something better than budget supermarkets. You expect the higher prices to mean higher standards. Open this tin and the reality contradicts everything that marketing promises. Customers rate it 3.2 out of 5 on Ocado. 3.2, that's barely above average. For a premium retailer charging premium prices, that rating is a failure. What makes this particularly frustrating is the trust factor. Families choose M&S believing they're getting better quality than Asda or Tesco. The premium positioning and slightly higher prices create an expectation. Surely that means better ingredients, better sourcing, better results. It doesn't. The sardines in olive oil contain the same inflammatory issues as cheaper brands when the olive oil used is low-grade refined oil rather than extra virgin. M&S doesn't specify which type of olive oil they use. That silence is telling. Good quality extra virgin olive oil is expensive, really expensive. If they were using it, they'd shout about it on the label. The absence of that detail means you're almost certainly getting refined olive oil, which has been heat-treated and chemically processed to the point where most beneficial compounds are gone. You're paying M&S prices for supermarket quality fish. The worst part? M&S is actually the only UK supermarket that ensures all its canned tuna comes from 100% pole and line methods without drifting FADs. They got tuna right. They proved they understand proper sourcing. They showed they can do it when they want to. But their sardines rate 3.2 out of 5. That proves they know what quality looks like. They just don't apply it consistently across their range. Same company, different priorities. The products that get advertised, that drive foot traffic, that build brand reputation, those get the investment. Everything else gets the minimum effort required to say M&S on the label. Premium positioning doesn't mean premium delivery, it means premium prices for inconsistent quality. Number 4. Delicious grilled sardines in olive oil. This is the luxury disaster that proves expensive means nothing. The packaging is beautiful. Elegant design, rustic labeling, artisan branding. Everything about this tin screams premium quality. It sits on Ocado's virtual shelves at £52.78 per kilogram. £52 for sardines. Customers paying that price expect something extraordinary, something hand-selected, perfectly preserved, restaurant quality. What they get is a 2.4 out of 5-star rating. 2.4 at £52 per kilogram. The ingredients are actually simple, just sardines, olive oil, and salt. No mysterious additives, no synthetic flavorings. On paper, this should be great. But the grilled gimmick doesn't deliver on taste or texture. Customers describe the sardines as disappointing, not worth the premium, and lacking the quality the price suggests. This is the problem with the premium tinned fish market. Fancy packaging and high prices create an expectation that the product inside can't meet. The grilling process sounds artisan and traditional, but it doesn't guarantee the sardines were selected properly, stored correctly, or packed with care. You can grill mediocre fish, and it's still mediocre fish. Just more expensive. What makes Delicious the luxury disaster is that customers paying £52.78 per kilogram are getting worse ratings than people paying £4 for Ortiz. The maths doesn't work. Premium should mean premium results. When it doesn't, when you're paying 13 times more for a product that rates lower, that's not a premium product. That's a con. The beautiful tin is doing all the work. The fish inside isn't holding up its end. Families treating themselves to something special, elderly shoppers buying a nice tin for a treat, people choosing delicious for dinner parties, they're all getting ripped off by packaging. This is dressed up as premium while delivering less than brands costing a fraction of the price. For £52.78 per kilogram, you should be getting 5-star ratings and fish that justifies every penny. Instead, you're getting 2.4 stars and buyer's remorse. Number 3. Prince's tuna chunks in spring water. You'd think spring water would save a bad brand. It doesn't. Prince's appears wholesome with spring water packaging and clean label marketing, but the liquid medium doesn't fix the fundamental problems with how this fish was caught and who caught it. This tin rates just 3.2 out of 5 at Tesco despite the healthier format. That proves even the better packaging can't disguise mediocre quality. Prince's is owned by Mitsubishi Corporation until they sold it off in 2004. A Japanese mega-corporation buying a British-sounding brand, keeping the name to maintain trust, then quietly downgrading everything behind the label. Customers aren't stupid, they notice. They review accordingly. But here's where Prince's becomes genuinely problematic. They promised British consumers that all their canned tuna would come from pole and line fishing or purse seine nets without fish aggregating devices by 2014. That was the commitment. 2014, Greenpeace investigated and found Prince's achieved only 25% sustainable fishing versus the promised 100%. They failed spectacularly. So Prince's announced a new sustainability claim, 100% MSC certified by 2025. That sounds impressive until you understand what MSC certification actually means now. Blue Marine Foundation published an exposé just 8 days before Prince's launched on the London Stock Exchange. The timing was deliberate. They wanted investors to know what they were buying into. The report revealed that 30 to 90% of Prince's tuna still comes from destructive FAD fishing despite MSC certification claims. The shares priced at the bottom of the initial range and dropped 1% on debut despite the discounted pricing. Reuters called it a smelly tuna debut. That's humiliating for a company trying to go public. It suggests investor skepticism about the company's ethics and future prospects. When Wall Street doesn't trust you, why should British shoppers? Prince's sources from multiple fishery operators. Blue Marine Foundation analysed their supply chain and found all of them use drifting FADs in the Indian Ocean. Only small portions come from pole and line sources. The rest is industrial net fishing that scoops up everything. 97% of yellowfin tuna caught by purse seine nets with FADs are juveniles. They're being taken before they can breed, before they can reproduce, before they can sustain the population. This isn't just unsustainable fishing, this is extinction-level fishing. You're preventing stock recovery by targeting fish that haven't reached sexual maturity. And it's all happening while Prince's waves an MSC-certified label and charges £1.75 per tin. That's 143% more expensive than Sainsbury's sustainable alternative at 72 pence. You're paying premium prices for broken promises and greenwashed industrial fishing. Spring water doesn't save a brand that lies. Number 2. John West Red Salmon. This is the premium disappointment king. The tin that proves expensive means nothing when corporate greed takes over. John West Red Salmon costs £5.50 at Tesco. That works out to £25.82 per kilogram. Customers paying that price expect premium quality. They expect wild-caught salmon, carefully preserved, superior to cheaper pink salmon alternatives. What they get is a 2.4 out of 5-star rating, 2.4 at £25.82 per kilogram. This is one of the most shocking value failures in the entire tinned fish category. You're paying luxury prices for a product that disappoints more than 3/4 of customers who reviewed it. The quality collapse is real. Customers describe dark brown fish with blood and bits mixed in. Others report the color is off, the texture is wrong, the smell is concerning. These aren't isolated complaints. This is a pattern. One customer compared it directly to Tesco own brand pink salmon and said Tesco's version was far superior in color, texture and quality, with no blood and no weird discoloration. Tesco's salmon costs significantly less. If the budget option is beating the premium brand on quality, something is catastrophically wrong. And it's not just the fish, it's the broken promises. John West pledged that 100% of their tuna would come from sustainable fishing by 2016. Greenpeace investigated, they found John West achieved 2%. 2 out of 100. That's not a failure. That's a lie. Greenpeace called their claims deeply misleading and plainly false. The gap between what they promised and what they delivered is so vast it constitutes consumer deception. But John West didn't stop there. They advertised 100% tracing, claiming customers could track every can back to the exact boat that caught the fish. Greenpeace exposed this as more misleading marketing. The tracker website showed tuna only from certain countries, but large volumes actually came from Thai canneries in regions notorious for human rights abuse and forced labor. When confronted, John West called this simply a website limitation. Simply a limitation, not an oversight, not a mistake, just a convenient technical problem that hid slavery from consumers trying to make ethical choices. Tesco delisted 20% of John West's entire product range because the products failed sustainability standards. Waitrose and Sainsbury's threatened removal too. When the major UK supermarkets are actively considering dropping your brand because your sourcing is that problematic, you've crossed a line. Blue Marine Foundation investigations revealed John West's FAD fishing methods are responsible for the harm of at least 100,000 silky sharks annually in the Indian Ocean alone. Silky sharks are classified as vulnerable. 100,000 per year, just from one brand's fishing methods, just in one ocean. Multiply that across all oceans, all brands, all years, and you understand why shark populations are collapsing globally. FADs also harm sea turtles, dolphins, rays, and seabirds caught in nets or entangled in debris. Everything goes into those industrial nets. The entire ecosystem suffers. And John West knows this. They know exactly what their fishing methods do. They promised to change. They didn't. Now they're owned by Thai Union, the corporation implicated in slavery at sea. Now they're delivering declining quality at increasing prices. Now they're charging £25.82 per kilogram for salmon that rates 2.4 stars while hiding human trafficking in their supply chain. 170 years of British heritage, that's how long it took to build trust. 5 years of Thai Union ownership to destroy it. This is what corporate takeovers look like. Strip the quality, keep the branding, charge for the name while delivering garbage. John West Red Salmon isn't just expensive, it's a betrayal of every customer who still trusts the label their grandparents bought. Number 1. John West Tuna Chunks in Sunflower Oil. The absolute worst tinned fish you can buy in Britain combines every single problem on this list into one tin. Slavery, broken promises, inflammatory oils, corporate betrayal, all of it packed into 145 grams. John West charges £1.75 per tin. At Tesco, customers rate it inconsistently because quality varies wildly between batches. Same brand, same label, completely different product inside. One week, the tuna seems acceptable. The next week, it's grey mush that smells off. You're gambling every time you open a tin. The sunflower oil is the constant. 14 grams of fat per 100 grams drained. Inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids flooding the tin. And you can't drain it away. People leave comments saying, just drain the oil, just rinse it off. They don't understand basic chemistry. When fish sits in oil for months, oil-soluble compounds migrate into the tissue. The omega-6 penetrates the flesh. That residual film coating every chunk, that's in the fish. It's like marinating meat for 6 months, then trying to rinse away the marinade. The sunflower oil also oxidizes after opening, creating lipid peroxides linked to DNA damage. Every time you open that tin, degradation accelerates. Free radicals multiply. Olive oil prevents this with natural antioxidants. Sunflower oil has none. Now add the slavery. Thai Union purchased John West's parent company and was exposed in a New York Times investigation for forced labor, human trafficking, and workers disappearing at sea on fishing vessels. When you buy John West tuna in sunflower oil, you're potentially funding vessels where people are held against their will. This isn't speculation, this is documented investigative journalism. Greenpeace ranked John West absolute last place in UK tuna sustainability assessments. They stated John West used indiscriminate, destructive fishing methods, leading to decimation of turtle and shark populations. 100,000 silky sharks harmed annually just in the Indian Ocean from John West's methods. The industry deployed 1.41 million drifting FADs between 2007 and 2021, covering 37% of Earth's entire ocean surface. John West promised to stop using FADs. They achieved 2% progress in over a decade. They lied to British consumers for years while charging premium prices and delivering the worst environmental record in the category. 170 years of trust sold to a corporation linked to slavery. The worst tinned fish in Britain isn't the cheapest, it's the most expensive con job with the longest history of lying. Avoid it, tell your family to avoid it. Tell your elderly relatives who've bought it for decades that the company they trusted sold out and the new owners don't care about quality, ethics, or honesty. Now, here's the good news. Not all tinned fish is this corrupted. Some brands still get it right. Some companies still prioritize fish over profit margins. Some tins still deliver what they promise. Finding clean, sustainable, honestly sourced tinned fish isn't impossible. You just need to know what to look for. First, check the liquid. Spring water or brine, not oil. Oil adds inflammatory compounds you don't need. Second, look for pole and line or FAD-free certification. That proves the fishing method avoided bycatch. Third, check for MSC certification, but understand it's imperfect. It's better than nothing, but it doesn't guarantee perfection anymore. Fourth, look at customer ratings. Real people buying real tins leave real reviews. A 2.4 rating at premium prices is a red flag. A 4.5 rating means the product delivers. Fifth, compare prices honestly. Sometimes the 72p tin is better than the £5.50 tin. Premium pricing doesn't mean premium quality, it often means premium marketing. Now let me show you the 5 tinned fish products actually worth buying in Britain today. First, Sainsbury's tuna chunks in spring water, MSC certified. This is the value sustainability winner that proves good doesn't have to be expensive. 72p per tin. The same price as Aldi, but unlike Aldi, Sainsbury's has 0 recent safety recalls, 0 historical mislabeling scandals, and verified 100% pole and line fishing across all own brand tuna. They rejoined Waitrose as the only Big 4 UK retailer with 100% MSC labelled own brand canned tuna. This represents a major shift after years of supermarkets failing sustainability commitments. All tuna is 100% pole and line caught, verified through multiple independent sources. Sainsbury's is now the UK's biggest importer of pole and line tuna from the Maldives. Pole and line fishing has near zero bycatch, less than 0.4% in the Azores monitoring program, which is the longest-running tuna science program globally. Individual fish are caught one at a time using poles, hooks, and live bait. This selective method avoids catching juveniles, prevents mass marine life harm, supports local Maldivian fishermen where tuna fishing is the #1 income source after tourism, and allows stock recovery and sustainability. Compare this to FADs used by John West and Princes that harm 100,000 plus sharks, turtles and rays annually. The difference is night and day. Sainsbury's also reduced prices to 72p while simultaneously achieving 100% pole and line certification. That's the opposite of what most companies do. Usually sustainability costs more. Sainsbury's proved you can do both. At 72p per can, this costs the same as Aldi, but with verified pole and line fishing, transparent sourcing to the Maldives. No recent safety recalls versus Aldi's gluten contamination recall, and no historical mislabeling scandals versus Lidl's species fraud. Compared to Prince's at £1.75, that's 143% more expensive. Sainsbury's saves you £1.03 per tin. Weekly purchases save £53.56 annually. Over 5 years, that's £267.80. For pensioners on fixed incomes, this is significant money while delivering vastly superior environmental credentials. Skipjack tuna is the smallest commercial species and naturally contains less mercury than larger species like yellowfin or albacore. Smaller fish equals less time accumulating mercury equals lower concentrations. Independent taste tests rated Sainsbury's favorably. Nice and juicy, more pink in color, good value. Reviews praise chunky texture and quality. With 70% of UK shoppers eating tuna, Sainsbury's offers a mass-market option that doesn't require compromising ethics or budget. Available in all 1,400 Sainsbury's stores nationwide. Spring water, brine or sunflower oil varieties, but you want spring water. Clearly marked with MSC Blue Label on packaging. For viewers managing cardiovascular health, the spring water option at the same 72 pence price provides a heart-healthy choice without price premium. At £2.69 for a 4-pack, this represents exceptional value. Sainsbury's committed to 100% independently certified seafood across all products, not just tuna. They won MSC Supermarket of the Year Gold Award, with 187 MSC-labeled products and 79% of wild seafood range certified. This is best-in-class performance among UK retailers. If you only change one thing after watching this video, switch from Prince's or John West to Sainsbury's Spring Water Tuna. Same supermarket trip, same tinned fish aisle, 72 pence instead of £1.75. Zero slavery links, zero broken promises, zero inflammatory oils. Just clean fish caught sustainably. Second, Waitrose MSC Tuna Steak in Spring Water. This is the premium option that actually justifies the price. Customers rate it 4.5 out of 5 at Waitrose. 4.5. That's exceptional for tinned fish. When you pay more for Waitrose, you're getting steaks instead of chunks, better cuts of fish, firmer texture, superior presentation. You're also getting the same pole and line and dolphin-friendly sourcing that Waitrose commits to across their range. Greenpeace ranked Waitrose #1 for tuna sustainability in UK assessments. They're not perfect. Nobody is, but they're leading the category. The spring water format preserves omega-3 fatty acids instead of leaching them. No inflammatory seed oils, no heavy sauces masking quality. Just fish and water. The higher price reflects actual fishing costs. Pole and line operations are more labor-intensive than industrial nets. Fishermen catch individual fish one at a time. That takes time, skill, and more vessel days at sea. You're paying for methods that don't destroy marine ecosystems. The 4.5-star rating proves customers are satisfied. When premium pricing matches premium delivery, nobody complains. The issue is brands like John West and Delicious charging luxury prices while delivering mediocrity. Waitrose charges more and delivers more. That's honest business. Available in Waitrose stores nationwide, clearly marked with MSC certification and pole and line sourcing details. If you want the best supermarket tuna in Britain, and you can afford the premium, this is it. Third, Fish Forever Cornish sardines in spring water. This is the local, traceable, zero-compromise option for people who want to know exactly where their fish came from. Fish Forever sources from small-scale local fisheries operating off the British coastline. Not industrial fleets, not anonymous imports from unverified waters, traceable fish caught by fishing communities that depend on ocean health to survive. That accountability runs through every single tin. The ingredient list is as simple as it gets. Cornish or Scottish sardines, spring water, nothing else. The list ends before it begins. The omega-3 fatty acids arrive completely uncompromised. No seed oil diluting them, no heavy sauce masking them. What the fish naturally provides reaches your plate exactly as nature intended. Customers rate this 4.7 out of 5 on Ocado. 4.7. That's nearly perfect. The nutrition panel backs it up. 20.7 grams of protein per 100 grams. Listed omega-3 content, low sugar. For families wanting to know exactly what they're eating, for people managing cardiovascular health, for anyone who spent years trusting tins that quietly worked against them, this delivers on every count. You're paying more than supermarket-owned brands, true, but you're buying something real. Local fish, clean water, a supply chain you can actually trace. Fish Forever has full traceability back to the actual boat. Founder Charles Redfern testified at Parliament on marine environment issues. The company works with experts across the marine sphere, including the Soil Association, New Economic Foundation, and Environmental Justice Foundation. Top ethical ratings across environment, animals, and people categories. This is what tinned fish looked like before corporations decided shortcuts were acceptable, before seed oil became cheaper than integrity. Fourth, Fish Forever whole sardines in organic lemon and olive oil. Same company, different format for people who want oil but want it done right. This uses extra virgin organic olive oil. The real deal, not refined, Portugal-sourced sardines from responsible fisheries using traditional pole and line methods. The lemon adds flavor without hiding fish quality. Customers rate it 4.2 out of 5 on Ocado. The organic certification means the olive oil and lemon come from farms that don't use artificial additives or processing aids, just good, clean ingredients. This is the contrast to sunflower oil tins. Extra virgin olive oil preserves omega-3 instead of destroying it. The natural antioxidants called polyphenols protect the fish from oxidation. Sardines in this oil stay fresh, stay nutritious, stay beneficial. Compare that to John West's sardines soaking in sunflower oil that oxidizes and creates free radicals. Same fish, opposite results, all because of oil quality. The price is higher, but you're getting Portugal-sourced pole and line sardines, organic extra virgin olive oil, zero inflammatory seed oils, full sustainability credentials, and ratings that prove customers are satisfied. When oil is done right, it enhances fish instead of destroying it. This is proof. Fifth, Ortiz white tuna in olive oil, the proper premium that actually delivers premium results. Waitrose customers rate it 4.5 out of 5. The price is £54.55 per kilogram. Yes, that's expensive. But unlike Delicious at £52.78 getting 2.4 stars, Ortiz at £54.55 gets 4.5 stars. That 2.1 star difference matters enormously. It's the difference between premium that disappoints and premium that satisfies. Ortiz is a Spanish family cannery operating since 1891. They use Bonito del Norte, a premium white tuna species from the Bay of Biscay, hand-packed in Spanish olive oil using traditional methods perfected over 130 years. This isn't industrial processing, this is small-batch artisan production. The pole and line fishing is verified. The supply chain is transparent. The quality is consistent. When you pay £54 per kilogram for Ortiz, you're getting ratings that justify it. You're getting fish that's genuinely different from mass-market brands. You're getting heritage that hasn't been sold out to foreign corporations. The Ortiz family still owns and operates the cannery. They still prioritize quality over quarterly profits. This is what premium should look like. High price, high quality, high satisfaction. Not high price, mediocre product, disappointed customers. If you want the best tinned tuna in Britain and you don't mind paying for genuine quality, Ortiz delivers. It's available at Waitrose and specialty food shops. One tin is a treat. A staple purchase is a luxury, but it's honest luxury. You get what you pay for. Those are your 5. Sainsbury's for value and everyday sustainability. Waitrose for premium supermarket quality. Fish Forever for local traceability and organic options. Ortiz for genuine luxury that delivers. You now know more about tinned fish than 99% of British shoppers. You know which brands lied, which companies sold out, which tins contain slavery, and which contain quality. You know that 72 pence can beat £5.50 when the cheap one is honest and the expensive one is a con. You know the sunflower oil is inflammatory, the MSC label is corrupted, the mercury is real, and the promises were broken. Most importantly, you know what to do about it. Check your cupboard right now. If you've got John West, Prince's, Tesco oil tins, Glenrike or any of the avoid lists sitting there, you've got a choice. You can finish them knowing what you're eating, or you can bin them and start fresh. Either way, don't buy them again. Next shopping trip, walk past the John West, even if it's on offer. Ignore the Prince's, even though you've bought it for 40 years. Go straight to Sainsbury's Springwater Tuna at 72 pence. That one decision saves you £53 annually while supporting pole and line fishing instead of slavery. That one switch sends a message to these corporations that broken promises have consequences. If this video helped you, if you learned something that changes what you buy, hit that hype button right now. Seriously. That hype button click pushes this video to more people. Every person who sees this is one more person who stops funding slave-caught fish. One more family that switches from inflammatory oils to spring water. One more shopper who realizes premium pricing doesn't mean premium quality. The food industry doesn't want this information spreading. They profit when you stay confused, when you trust heritage brands that sold out decades ago, when you grab what's familiar without reading labels. Your hype button click is pushing back. It's spreading awareness that leads to better food standards. And drop a comment telling me what food we should investigate next. Breakfast cereals? Ready meals? Cooking oils? I want to know what you're concerned about, what you want exposed, what you need clarity on. Because I'm going to keep making these videos. I'm going to keep investigating what the food industry hides. I'm going to keep showing you exactly which products to avoid and which to buy. Until next time, read every label, question every claim, and protect your plate.